in Pacific time, 9 time, and it is 9 o'clock a.m. here in the Philippines. So wherever you are around the world, we are having some massive momentum. It's absolutely unbelievable what's been going on. And we are, oh, shoot, I'm getting calls all over the place. It's good. So what I wanted to do is basically talk about a few things that we've been going. As you can tell, we had some great news. But before we do that, I want to talk about some of the promotions that we've had. Congratulations to Rosella and Michael Flores out of Bentonville, Arkansas. Bentonville, Arkansas. They have been promoted to master, and I'm excited to get some more masters promoting here this week. We have a lot of people who are coming on board, a lot of excitement, a lot of incredible leaders from 6 to 7 figure earners who are kind of disillusioned with the state of direct sales or network marketing and so on and so forth. And so by doing this, by consistently putting people here on the line, what you get are people who will allow yourself to think local and build local, but then really think global. And here what I have in my hands is incredible because, since we've been promoting a lot of masters from different places, we're going to have masters in all 50 states thanks to this. I mean, Arkansas is on the map. That's unbelievable. I have a meeting tomorrow with New Jersey. They're ready to get onto the training. And with Team New Jersey, they want to actually start building out the business. And then we have here the very first package here. This is the very first package that was sent. And then we have multiple orders coming out all over the world. We have this international package right here that arrived at my home in Bonifacio Global City and is absolutely unbelievable to see. And so from the promotions that we've been having to the products being sent out globally, I want to talk a little bit about thinking, once again, building local, but thinking global. And sometimes we think so far outreaching that, now that we're in 24 countries, now that we're building out with reckless abandon all over the world, we think that, hey, if I could only just find people in these certain countries. When in reality, in order to build a massive company, all you really need to do is really build within your centers of influence right now, because naturally it will go global. And what do I mean by that? Is essentially when you're building an international organization, all that really matters is volume. One of my mentors said it best. He said, essentially, volume solves all problems. And if you have anything that's going on in your business, as long as you're persistent, consistent, just like in a gym. See, anyone can join Ion, but it's up to them really in order to build the business. So what do I mean? So say you joined Ion or say you joined a gym and essentially you're like, I want to be fit. I want to lose all this weight. I want to do all these incredible things. Well, how is that going to happen unless you actually go to the gym and go in and use the tools and use the equipment and do the proper nutrition? I mean, speaking of nutrition, we saw some great results. If you see the Ion Instagram, you saw another person lose 5 pounds within the 5 days. And if we're just collecting stories, and we're especially collecting stories locally in your local marketplace, within your centers of influence, naturally it'll go global. And it seems like it's always sexy to be in the global areas and all that. And that's what's going on. We got a lot going on in the international realm. However, how do you go global from your corner of the world? By building local. And that's really the theme of today's training, is in order to build a massive business all over the world, once again, build local, but simply think global. Because what happens is that when you start building local, a lot of my mentors, when they started building locally, they basically like, find these people, find that people, find the people who are within your centers of influence, who will essentially create those testimonials in your local marketplace and create those stories. So for example, going back to the gym, and let's do part one. Say you taking these supplements and you're starting to get 5 pounds in 5 days. Okay, now you have your own personal testimonial, and that's phenomenal. However, the next part is to continue on by promoting that testimonial and other people's testimonials. So say you were running a gym, say you started a gym. And when you started that gym, say you didn't tell anybody about the gym. You didn't tell anybody about the results that you're getting at that gym. Well, how are you expecting that gym to grow? And if you can't have people like going to the weekly training, if you can't have people constantly coming to the gym every single day, how is it going to grow? And so that's the thing. What I notice about because of this new influencer mentality, and I notice all these, they think that you just put a post out there on the Instagrams and the TikToks, and magically customers will be attracted to you. I telling you right now, you got to stop. Don't think about that mentality because that's what I've been hearing from a lot of people. And there's an article in Business of Fashion, and where they see a lot of the influencer marketing companies are actually pulling their funds from a lot of the influencers out there because they say they don't really need to do that anymore. In fact, what's really growing is by continuously marketing, continuously having sales. Those are the companies which are really growing, whether it's direct sales or not direct sales. And so if you are going to be building upon this business and thinking about a massive scale, first think local. Why? Because you have so many people in your local marketplace who may not have seen what's going on. And so we are opening in your countries right now. But of course, what I say is don't prejudge, meaning that even though we're saying build a local, think local, but also build global, is that if it only takes 5 minutes to contact, if it only takes 5 minutes to contact those people who are overseas, then why not contact them? Maybe today is the day you start that relationship. Maybe today's the day you start planting that seed. Now, let's going back to the gym analogy. If you start advertising the gym and you're going to the gym yourself, meaning that you're coming to the training and are you going to start getting some results? Yes. Are you going to be completely 10% body fat and you're going to be swole and then you're going to get all the results in the very beginning? Possibly not. However, it's those baby steps. If you continue to post out there every single day, hey, I'm at the gym, I'm getting better, and they're seeing over time, over the next 90 days, that you're starting to get some results. Well, guess what? Other people are going to want to join your gym. Other people are going to buy the supplements that are at your gym and so on and so forth. And suddenly you'll have 2 or 3 people who are now sharing those results. But people have to be led, meaning that whenever I have a new person come on board, I immediately ask them to post into the Facebook group. I immediately ask them to get a testimonial and post it out there. Why? Because that's part of leadership. Leadership is really getting people outside their comfort zone to do a few things that they normally wouldn't have done without your sphere of influence. And see, what you are is a promoter and inviter. See, everyone wants the full gym right away, but they don't think about the beginning of just doing 2 laps a day, just getting on that elliptical, getting on that treadmill and just starting out, going out and just doing the things that they got to do in order to build something massive. Everyone wants the full gym at the very end, which is not necessarily the way we do it. We're doing with the pageant, the MGF Miss Philippines, and then I've been getting a lot of calls. Nate, how is that pageant growing so much? How are you guys getting these sponsors when we can't get one? Well, it's simple, is that you can tell we're promoters and inviters. And then we're building out, building. That's why it can happen in a short period of time because a lot of people aren't trying anymore. They think they just put one single post out and then suddenly everything magical happens. And this is the same thing with Ion. Why is Ion growing so much? Because wherever you go, you want to be seeing Ion on your feed. You want to be seeing all these things on your feed. But it's not just that. It's also how you celebrate other people's success. Okay, so say now you have your own testimonial at the gym. Have you noticed some of the most loved people are the ones who are promoting other people as well? So what do I mean by that? If you see someone in the Facebook forum getting a success, what are you commenting on it? Are you loving it? Are you putting it? Are you basically saying congratulations that you've had that 5 pounds within 5 days, that you're a new master, that you're a new icon, you're a new legend? In order to really build your own business and all this stuff, easy to do, easy not to do. You need to be able to show up for other people so they'll show up for you. So when you are on those forums, when you are sharing your successes on your own social media and you're sharing it to you're sharing it to the group, guess what? Other people are going to be like, oh no, guess what? Alvin is now here. Alvin has been supporting us. So now we need to support him on his posts. Or, Team Florida or Mark, you have now a success there in Michigan. And so we want to be able to love on that and build upon that. See, those are the kind of things that you got to do in order to build a massive business. And when I say easy to do, easy not to do, what I really mean is that that's what we do here, is that the business is so, so, so simple. It is so easy to understand that it's hard to really just simply do the easy things. And that's why it's good to be on this weekly training, because why? It creates that spark, not just for you, but for your people. How do you know you're having more and more success? If your people are attending the weekly training. Why? Because the weekly training is what sets the fire. It creates the fire and it creates the attitude for the next week. They see that people like the Flores over in Bentonville, Arkansas, home of Walmart and all that, they're growing. They're seeing all these people who are coming onto the weekly training and they're starting to get recognized and they're growing. And if you can get good at promoting your people, just sending a text 5 minutes beforehand, sending a call an hour beforehand and reminding them, hey, do you have the weekly training on your calendar? So have there times that you didn't want to go to the gym? Have there been times where you have a workout partner that will push you go to the gym? Commitment is doing something long after the initial excitement has faded. And as we're growing and growing and growing, you're going to need to make sure that you continue on with the commitments that you did in the very, very beginning. Because once you hit master, you want to continue that momentum until you hit icon. And I can't say much, but there are more incredible things happening in the next year. See, have you noticed that no matter what, if you've been with Ion since the beginning, it's always gotten better and better and better. See, we're not one of those people who just starts that gym and then let it run free. No, we're out there polishing the equipment, we're adding to the equipment, we're making sure that it's well oiled, and we're making sure it's taken care of. However, the hardest part is in the beginning. With any business, it's always harder to get from $0 to $1,000 a month than it is to get from $1,000 to $10,000 a month. However, the old idea doesn't work as well before. They used to basically say, you need 5 years to build a brick and mortar company. Well, you don't need to do that anymore because of the internet, because of the fourth industrial revolution. And so what is our priority? It's simply to get to the gym and promote others to get to the gym as well, and then promote the stories. Why do I keep saying the word stories? It's simple. Since ancient times, and this isn't magical or mythology, it's just the way it is. Since ancient times, we've been programmed to listen to stories. Have you ever heard a person when they do a campfire story and then you're just enamored by the things that they were talking about? Have you ever got an emotional impact from a story? And see, what I've noticed is that the best storytellers become some of the best business builders. Really, some of the best storytellers become some of the best business builders. And so if you can get good at saying, hey, Alvin lost this amount of weight within only about 5 pounds. Team Florida, they have this whole group of people who are building and they're losing all this weight, and it's incredible. And you can tell them, and then also essentially say, hey, relate to them. So if you meet someone who's a nurse, introduce them to someone who's a nurse. If you meet someone like me who is a nerd in computers and things like that, like a computer programmer and so on and so forth, introduce to another person who is that. If you see someone who is in the same kind of realm from car sales, we have people here who are from car sales and things like that. Introduce them to each other, because like-minded people like to hang out with like-minded people. Hey, let's just say, for example, hey, my name is John. I'm a registered nurse. I love Ion. It's absolutely incredible. I make a good income already at my work as a registered nurse. Great benefits. I work at the government hospital. I feel great. However, I really, every single day I see all these people who are sick, and I feel helpless with wanting to do something for them. That's why I love Ion, because we have some of the best quality supplements out there for less price. And not only that, I work 12 hours a day for 4 days a week. And that 12 hours, 4 days a week, although I love helping people, it's exhausting. And if I can make an extra $500 a month with Ion, it's not just going to help with my bills, but it's going to help me with experiences. You see what I mean? It's those kind of stories. Have you ever listened to a testimonial, and then when you could relate to it, you can relate to those stories, it motivates you to do something? This is why you need three-way calls. This is why you need to support the testimonials that are being posted on the Facebook, in the group. This is why you need to basically it. Let me ask you a question. When's the last time, if you saw a testimonial on the Facebook group that you commented and liked? You don't have to answer this, but just ask yourself, have you done that? Because why? It's a very 1 second thing to do. Essentially, you drop an emoji, you love it. After 1 minute, it's done. But then people see like, hey, this is a person who supports the entire group. So that way, when your group is growing, they're going to support you. This is what I've always done, is because I know that for 1 second for liking it, the only reason if I don't is because I just don't see it. That's the thing. I tell people, tag me on Facebook, comment me on Facebook or Instagrams or wherever the social media is at. I want to see these testimonials. I want you to tag me. I want people to see it on my timeline. I want people to see those things. Why? Because there's a phenomenon here, and let me just make sure that I'm not getting any notifications. There's a phenomenon here in, well, not here, but in the United States. And so this is what happened, is essentially there's something called the camp. And if you ever heard of the camp, there was a fitness kind of thing going on, and they were saying, I lost this much weight at the camp. And I'm not sure where it is right now, but I used to see it all over Facebook, all over Instagram. It was absolutely unbelievable to see everywhere. This person lost this much weight. And all my friends were like, I don't know what that camp thing is about, but I keep seeing all over Facebook. It was branded. You're required part of that gym, that outdoor gym thing, that fitness thing, to essentially post your results all the time. And you know what? It exploded. There were camps going on all over the nation. Why? Because they knew how to promote on the power of social media and promoting other people's stuff. That's what is really, really unbelievable about it. And so what I would say is to continue to promote on all these things, because if no one knows about the magic of the gym that you are promoting, then how are people supposed to know about ION? Let me repeat that in a way that's a little bit more clear, is that if you're not talking about ION, if you notice, I do a personal post and then I do an ION post. Why? Because it resets the algorithm a little bit. I do something about my daily life and then I do something about ION. And then when I post about ION, whoever likes it, if I haven't talked to them before, I'll just send them a message. Hey, thanks for liking the post. No pressure, but are you open to seeing what we're doing over here at ION? And I don't make it too complicated. It is there on the PDF. It is there on the training, on the 2-page training. And if you just follow the example of the week of that training, guess what's going to happen? You're going to have some massive, massive success. Why? Because suddenly they're going to see, monkey do. They're going to see you promoting all these things. They're going to see you growing these things. And then suddenly more and more people get involved. It's always difficult to find those 3 to 5 leaders. However, if you continuously participate and put people into the system, you know what's going to happen? And you know what? You help promote them. You know what's going to happen? Suddenly, they're going to say, hey, someone contacted me. Or suddenly they say, hey, you know what? I got onto that weekly training because you promoted that training so well. And I listened to what Nate was saying. You know what I've been forgetting to do? I've been forgetting to contact everyone who's liking my post. See, these are why these weekly trainings are so important. If you're wondering why you're not getting momentum, are your people getting onto this call? And then here's the thing though, don't get too stuck, because you cannot drag people over the finish line. I would rather spend 1 minute with 100 people than 100 with one person. I'm going to say it again. I would rather spend 1 minute with 100 people, not 100 minutes with one person. Why? Because that leads to frustration. If someone is, and you're reminding them, hey, you're on the weekly call, hey, you should post your testimony, and they're not doing it, you know what? That's on them. That is their responsibility. Because all you're doing is that you promoted, you're invited, you shared the opportunity, and you always let them know. See, this is why you have to just let them know. If you have any issues, come to us. Let's get you on with us. You need to give them, you can't make it too easy for people. You got to give them some responsibility, because it's like this. It's like saying, well, I joined the gym, but I'm not fit yet. Well, did you go to the gym? No. Did you use any of the equipment? No. Well, why do you expect results? By simply joining. And here, yeah, they're going to get some great supplements. And maybe though, don't be upset at these people, because I know even people like me, when I first started in this business over a decade ago, it took me 6 months to get my first check, because 80% of that is the mindset. 80% of it is the timing. 80% of it sometimes is the things going on in our daily life that trigger something. Maybe it's a traumatic event. Maybe it's something where, you're realizing, man, I don't have enough money for my bills next month, or there's something that triggers, or it's like, I get out that comfort zone. You're like, I need to do it for myself. And when someone shows that they have a burning desire, a willingness to work, and they're coachable, that right there, that is where you're saying, haha, they get it, but I'm going to now do my part to help mentor, guide, coach, point, guide, direct to all the right things. And you don't need to know 100% of the answers. That's what the three-way call is for. So for example, what do I mean by point, guide, and direct? And I learned that from a mentor who made 6 figures a month. He was what we called the Minnesota monotone man, because he was such a monotone person. Ended up becoming the #1 earner in one of those legacy companies. But they asked him, what was his secret? Well, I got good at pointing, guiding, and directing. And they were like, hey, I have this question. Oh, that's a great question. It's here on these award-winning videos. Oh, I don't know what to do about this. Where should I be bringing my people? Oh, the best thing to do is to get onto the weekly training. Oh, how about this? Well, you just do this and do that. He was so good at pointing, guiding, directing at videos and getting them to people who are doing all the things that he did, because he wasn't a motivational speaker. He wasn't a trainer. All he knew how to do was point, guide. I believe he was a furniture salesman. Yeah, he was a furniture salesman when he first started. And not even hard sales. Basically, is one of those people where you walk into the furniture store and say, hey, do you like sleeping? Do you like to relax? Well, you want this couch right here. And he was a super monotone guy, but he always wore a smile on his face, and it became a 6-figure monthly earner back in the 80s in one of those very big legacy companies, 80s and 90s, and still successful to today. Actually, he lives in the Philippines now, which is unbelievable. However, what I'm trying to get at here is that to continue to be consistent and urgent. If you want to build out those muscles, you got to get to the gym and get started today, not waiting 3 days. Maybe I'll wait till Monday. Then suddenly Monday becomes another Monday, and then another Monday, and then another Monday. The actions you take today, how long does it take to like everyone's posts in the Facebook group when they get promoted, when they have a testimonial, and comment? You might not think it matters much. Trust me, in the long term, it matters. Why? Because it shows that you're a team player. It shows that you're consistent. It shows that you show up for other people and you support. So that way, when you have 1,000 people in your organization, customers, they will support you as well. And when new people come in and see the love, they see the likes, they see the comments, hey, congratulations, fire emoji. They see all these things going on. They're like, wow, what a welcoming environment. Have you ever been to a church where you've never been there before, or any religious situation, or wherever it is, whatever your religious affiliation or non-affiliation, you just go to a place and then immediately people are loving on you. Have you ever been to a place like that? And you're like, you know what? I think I want to go here again. And where are you also most comfortable with? Like-minded people, meaning that, like, hey, if you're a youth person, I was part of a church where when you're 18 years old, you go to what we call the, young single adults. And they wanted all the young single adults to mingle upon each other. Of course, they wanted them all to get married, but it was people that related to them. And they were like, oh, this and that. And so people would naturally volunteer to do things and go do things and take up leadership positions. Have you ever been in those situations? You're like, I think I want to come back simply because I feel so welcomed. See, everything we're doing, 80% of the training is done when you first recruit someone. If you are basically bringing a new person on board, are you showing them off in the Facebook group? That's what you want to do. Right when I brought on board one of my friends, Harold Jarrow, that's Team New Jersey. We're doing a Zoom, I believe tomorrow, I think it's Sunday, my time, about the history of Ion, how to build with Ion. And I'm doing it with his group over in New Jersey who haven't come on board yet. They're all highly interested. However, the first thing I did when they joined, I said, hey, you should participate. You should show people. And then, when he did that, he said, I don't understand why I need to do those things. He comes from the traditional business world. And I said, that's why your business maybe isn't growing as fast as you think, is because you're not being part of a community. And being part of a community is important in supporting the whole, because you want leverage, right? You want leverage over your life. You want to be able to wake up when you're done sleeping. You want to be able to wake up with more money in your bank account than you did the day before. And the way you do that is when your people starting to become independent of you because of the things that you taught in the very beginning. Then, so if you notice Harold, when he got started, he posted, hey, I'm part of, this is my fitness brand, and I see how it pairs well with Ion. But suddenly you saw not only that, what was Harold doing? He was liking everyone else's post. He was saying, welcome. He was saying, let's go. He's saying, let's do all these things. And many of you who are on this call, you're doing that too. This is simply a reminder to keep doing those things. And then why? Because the more you see that, you kind of get into a little friendly competition mode. You see more and more masters. The more you say, hey, I haven't actually, or I forgot to talk to this person who liked my post about myself losing 5 pounds in 5 days, or myself taking the fruit and veggie capsules, or fruit and veggie complex, and feeling better, more energy. Taking the energy, taking the sleep and having the best sleep of my life, taking the ultimate gut health and feeling like my immune system is phenomenal. You see, these are the kind of things, as you can get good at doing promoting and inviting, you can build a massive business. And once again, volume solves all problems, guys. Volume solves all problems. And the way you do that is, once again, think local, build local, but think global. Today we have a fantastic event. Tonight we actually at one of the most prestigious nightclubs in Manila, at Cow Nightclub over here. We're gonna have a fun event with the MGF and Ion people. Some of the people who are on the pageant doing Ion. We're gonna have Ion on the big screen and so on and so forth. That's what we call a community event. That's what we say an appreciation event. That's what we want people to come in and say, hey, we're a lot of fun, we're simple, but thank you for being a part of Ion. I'm doing that here locally. If you can get together with people locally, that success is going to reverberate around the world. Why? Because other people are going to be doing that. Now, am I saying a get together is 100 people in the room? Eventually, yes. But what I'm saying is just a group of 2 or 3 people who are gathered together. The same thing regardless if you're religious or not, same thing in the Bible. They say it there, when 2 or 3 people are gathered together in his name, that's the concept right there. If you can have people in your home, 2 or 3 people getting together and then saying, and continuously every week adding one more, adding one more, adding one more, eventually you have someone who will grow it big. It's just like when you're planting those seeds. Some of those seeds will grow a little bit. Some of those seeds will grow a lot. However, never compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. Okay, I repeat, don't compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. If you see someone else getting massive success, even if they came in before you, cheer them on. Why? Because it may motivate you and for you to be more consistent, talk to a little bit more people about the disruptive concept that is Ion, and suddenly you have people growing in those local areas. Suddenly you find someone because you became that person. I'm going to say that again. You will find people as you become a more personally developed person, as you build your mindset, as if you build these things. But with anything, wisdom and labor, uninvested in action, uninvested in, let me start it again. Wisdom and faith, uninvested in labor, action, and urgency is wasted. So have you really talked to everyone you know today? You know why I talk to everyone I know, everyone I like? Because of the testimonials that y'all are sharing. How do I know that this 15-day cleanse might be the answer and solution to someone jumpstarting someone's weight management? Because for every pound of weight that you gain, it's pounds on your spine and it hurts. And what if this helps someone get their health back? Everyone has a struggle that we don't know about and that they don't want to talk about. Passively, if the products work for them, what's going to happen? Maybe the fruit and veggie caps. What if it helps them with that inflammation that they got? And all they needed to do was move around a little bit. Guess what? When you have a group of 1,000 people and you start seeing people crying on stage or crying at their local meeting or crying in your home saying, if it weren't for these products, I wouldn't be able to run around with my kids as much. I never would have taken care of my health as I thought. I never would have learned this knowledge. And been able to do these things. I never would have made that $200, $300, $400 a month, and I was drowning. That's what I'm talking about, guys, is that once again, if you are building a gym, how would you run it? How would you get people to do things? It's by becoming yourself. Me first, and my example will lead others to doing a lot as well. As you can tell, every single week when we get on here, it's all easy to do, easy not to do. All these things are reminders of leadership, of how to build a massive organization, how to build big, how to do those kind of things. It's a reminder of the things that you probably already know, but you need to be spurred into action. You see, every single day, what I do is I look at my calendar. If I don't have at least one appointment, well, guess what's going to happen? I know that I'm not doing the dailies. That's just for me. If I don't have something on my calendar where I'm creating an action which will lead to a big organization, that's how I know why I'm not getting the results that I want. So the number one thing you got to do is look at your phone camera. I'm not camera, phone calendar. Look at your calendar and say, when's the last time that I set up a home meeting? When's the last time I sent someone the video? When's the last time I got someone to share their testimonial? And if it's not you, leverage the leadership above you. Hey, Nate, I'm not very good at leading people. Can you help me take charge of my people? Help me do it. Yeah, and in that process, I'm gonna remind you, hey, hey, Mark, I just talked to John, and he's starting to grow. He's starting to do this thing. I would get together with you guys so that way you guys can build locally and grow locally. See, that's part of leadership. A leg is not a leg unless you have three masters stacked on top of each other. Why? Because that creates mastermind, that creates leadership. If you want a group of 30,000, you need 30 leaders. That's the ratio. And will everyone do something? No, but everyone can do a little bit. 80% of the work is done by 20% of the people. That's Pareto's law. And it's the same thing about your mindset. The more that you get, everything in success starts here in this mindset, and consistent action, and consistently being on these trainings. By you doing that, by continuously doing that, it may motivate one of your people to do it. See, there's two mentalities that I've noticed when it comes to promoting a weekly training or promoting some sort of event. And what that is that you're either promoting the weekly training for one reason, is that you're saying to yourself, hey, when I'm promoting this weekly training, it's because I want them to grow. I want to serve them. And the trainer has 10, 15, 20 years of knowledge that I would like to participate in and get some of that, because you might be a doctor, you might be an attorney, you might be an expert in your craft, but we're experts in our craft. And we make it so plug and play that all you got to do is promote people here. And that's the first mentality. The second mentality is, I don't want to send a text because I feel like I'm bothering people. You got to get rid of that trauma. You got to get rid of that, because it's not about that. Basically say, most people will not matter. If you see a text inviting you to something, you probably will be like, okay, that's great. Either you can make it or you not make it. However, I would rather have someone be invited than not. How many people do you know that they may not have said, it's 50-50 going to this event, but when someone called you and texted you, guess what? They ended up showing up. Why? Because there was additional motivation to get to that training, to get to that event. Your business is the same way. You got to ask yourself, if you messaged a few people before this call, and is it your responsibility that they got on? No, it's not really. You did your part. And if your people aren't coming onto these calls, then guess what you do? Phase one, find more people. It's all in that 2-page training. And that's what I really wanted to talk about, is that everything there is on that 2-page training. The only variable here is getting onto the weekly trainings and self-development, personal development, reading books like 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership by Pastor John C. Maxwell, listening to those kind of things. Why? Because everything you do is all to create your mindset so you can create action. That's really all it is. It's just getting you guys into action, getting yourself into action. I realize that anytime I've had personal momentum, is because I got into action. I was sometimes a little bit sloppy. I didn't know 100% of the information. However, a good plan executed today is better than a perfect plan that's never executed. Once again, a good plan executed today is better than a perfect plan that's never executed. Guys, that is really the secret to this business, is that you just got to look at your calendar and you got to say to yourself, I have this full calendar, or I'm doing better than I did the week before. Like going to the gym. You're not going to do these huge bench presses right away. You're not going to be curling, 45-pound dumbbells right away, or whatever it is you want to do. You're not going to be able to do a mile a minute right away. Well, some of you are already doing it, but not everyone's going to be doing it. However, if you are consistent, 2 laps a day, those 15-pound dumbbells every single day, suddenly you realize, oh, suddenly 20-pound dumbbells. You're starting to grow and grow and grow and grow. And you got to treat your business the same way. You got to basically be consistent. There are so many paths to becoming successful here. Some people are doing advertising. Some people are doing only warm marketing, excluding the warm. Some people will find their niche and what they're good at to create massive, massive amounts of orders with an ION. But the key here is action. That's what we want to talk about here today, because really you got to get to the point eventually where you're bringing in, not you personally, but your organization, a new person in every single day, whether it's a customer or an affiliate. You want to be promoting at least a new master every week, and we're holding ourselves accountable for that kind of stuff. As you can tell, from Banny Holcomb to Eric Caparisi, everyone is doing the same thing. What they're doing is essentially doing everything that we say that we're going to do and leading from the front. We're not one of those armchair CEOs or armchair VPs or armchair CMOs. No, we're out there building just like you. Why? Because we truly believe here at ION that we can never ask a new person to do it if we're not doing it ourselves. I've been a part of companies where they're like, well, I'm the CEO, so I don't really want to have time for it. Just come on to whenever I get onto a training. I'm like, what? How arrogant. You didn't have to actually say it that way. Like, hey, I don't have time for you. I'm more special than you. Therefore, I don't have time for you. That's terrible. I mean, here you got people like Eric and Ben who want to be on the phone with you. Yeah, me who wants to be on the phone with you. I just want to love on you. I want to get you out there and successful. Everyone here wants you to be successful. This is the baby that we created. And then we want that baby to grow large and tall and become the most massive, incredible thing out there. Why? Is because it's legacy. It's building something fun, building something big. And yes, we're going to have some great, great, great more material out there. I'm excited for the event today. We have one of our people from Team Virginia. Oh yeah, Team Virginia. Some of them are flying in today, and we're going to go to the event and we're going to treat them out because, we're saying thanks for doing those photo shoots with the product and promoting the product out there to your massive scale of influence. Why are we doing those kind of things? Because we want to appreciate you. And it's the same thing in your local marketplaces. Get a group of 20 or 30 going on. And you know what's going to happen? We're going to be able to go to your marketplaces. And when it comes to the countries, once again, don't be daunted or overwhelmed by that. Always think more local. 24 countries simply gives more options. What really matters is total sales in your organization. I don't care if it's international or not international. It doesn't matter. What matters is sales. What matters is testimonials and lives transformed. The more we can do, I'm fired up myself. After this call, I'm doing a call right away. I want to make sure that we have more and more new people coming onto this call, more and more people supporting on the Facebook. Why? Because that's the only thing that matters. We only get paid to do a few things, guys. We use the product, we share the product, and we teach others to do the same. It's not about the $7 retail profit. It's not about just having these small things. It's about you building a sustainable organization. So that way you're getting that extra $500 to $1,000 a month, whether you're doing the business or not. Why? Because when they're brand loyal, it does not matter anymore. There are so many people who go to Starbucks subconsciously. Who do you know who is going to Starbucks subconsciously? They don't even know why they're going there anymore. All the coffee everywhere else is cheaper, but they still go to Starbucks because they're brand loyal. Once they're in the ION ecosystem, they're going to continue to buy ION products, but it's up to you to introduce it for them. No one's going to know about that gym unless you invite them and then you motivate them and bring him on board. And then what happens at that point is that there is no secret. The more you plant those seeds, the more it'll grow. Where is all this training located? I'm saying all this to do one thing, is to point, guide, and direct you to that 2-page training I put on the Facebook group. Have you seen it? If you haven't seen it yet, you got to see it today. That Facebook group has the 2-page training. If you just gave me that 2-page training, you could just print those 2 papers out, 1 page. Print the 2-page training out, 1 page. Or laminate them at your local shop, your local Staples, wherever you're located at, and then just bring that everywhere you go. If you can get good at mastering that and then continually showing the business that way and showing the products that way, you'll be an absolute success. Why? Because 80% of the training is done once again when you first bring someone on board. And it's so simple to do. Everything we teach is easy to do, easy not to do. The compensation plan, once you get it, easy to understand, easy to understand. And the more that we promote these things, it'll eventually go international. However, what I'd say is this, is that you have everything you need to be successful now, even before the 24 countries, even before the Pay Quicker system. You had everything you need to become extremely successful. The compensation plan works. You guys are getting paid. Sometimes you're getting paid early. That's how much Eric and Banny love on you guys. You know, I love it when I see my account like, oh, we got paid early. Why? Well, it's just because we had such a great week. We want to just help out and put it out there. And now today, I just said, you know what? Thanks for opening the Philippines. I want to do an event over here today. And I want to bring all of my friends there. I'm going to be telling them to take pictures of the Ion products. I want Ion savings on the big LED screen. And I said, you know what? Here's the thing. Here's me reinvesting in people. Why? Because I know if I love on people here locally, people in the US are going to see it. And you know what? Maybe that'll be an example. So that way we can do that there too. Does it have to be something like that? No. It can be a backyard barbecue. It could be something, it's just something fun for your friends and family to be a part of. Why? Because how hard is it to take 2 to 6 capsules of this fruit and veggies every single day? How hard is it to talk to one new person every single day? It's not that hard. It's just a matter of getting you in the right mindset and your people in the right mindset by continuously putting them on the training, by continuously showing them to like other posts. It's not about really liking a Facebook post and supporting other people. It's more about you. It's more about meaning that you have the discipline enough to just do that. Hey, fire emoji, loves this, supports this. Congratulations on master. That's part of discipline and that's part of training. And the more I see that, the more I do those things, the more I get better and better at it personally. And we're showing you the right thing. Once again, we will never do, even at the corporate staff and team, we will never do something that we would never teach them that we wouldn't teach ourselves. And that's why you have people from Holly Canfield who's answering you at all times of the day, even when she doesn't need to. I know she's busy. I know she has a full life. I know she's, getting her health on track. She's going to the gym. She's doing all these things. She has a life to live too, but she also sees the vision of this company. I truly believe we have a incredibly concrete corporate team. And this is one of the best corporate teams that I've ever seen. Why? Because every time I get on a call, you can't get us off a call on a corporate call. It's like, I believe, it's always Banny and Eric and Holly, and we're all excited. Well, what if we did this? Well, what if we did that? What would make this happen? Oh, here, okay, we got this great success going on. Oh, we have this new person. We got to recognize them more. Everything that even we so-called complain about is about helping more people. Oh, we need to promote this person a lot more. We need to promote this product more. Oh, I just lost 20 pounds. Oh, we're not talking about this product enough. These are the kind of arguments you want, not about useless drama, because everything starts from management and goes down. What I want to say as we conclude is that I really appreciate you guys being on this weekly call. We're going to ramp things up. If you knew what I knew, we have more and more leaders coming in every single week. And eventually, as we start building this out, I actually just got a like from someone from Thailand who wanted to help me open up a country before. And so I have a conversation with him later on today. And then I have a few others here in the Philippines. They're now starting to talk. Why? Because I'm just planting the seeds right now. Am I expecting explosion right away? Maybe, maybe not. However, that doesn't negate me from doing the actions in the United States. Because why? The United States still is the bread and butter. United States still has all these things going on where people come in tomorrow, Team New Jersey. How do we build this business, Nate? Let's do a Zoom where we can talk about building this business so I can bring all my people on board. You see, the more you do these local things, it's not hard to plant these seeds. If you're time efficient and if you are filling up your calendar and you're staying productive and not busy, it's not difficult to do these things. And in fact, you can do a lot of this stuff on an hour a day. And what I'll say is this to build this vision out is that have you seen that every great company, if you look at any great company, I've been doing a lot of research on NVIDIA, Apple, Tesla, all the great companies. Have you noticed that the great companies that hit these now trillion-dollar valuations had warrior CEOs? They had people who were constantly getting and training and getting people to do the right things and starting the leadership. You know, everyone, what I would say is that I've seen so many of these videos from Starbucks where Howard Schultz says, no one really believed in this concept. I had this crazy concept. You know, I really actually reverberate with the Starbucks story, and we'll leave you to this. If you don't know the Starbucks story, it started with a guy named Howard Schultz and then two guys from Seattle called Starbucks Coffee. Now I'm gonna give you the condensed version of it. Is that Howard Schultz actually had a vision to make this thing bigger and bigger and better. He actually went to Europe and found this concept and thought people were willing to pay for a premium coffee. And then you know what everyone said? You're crazy. It won't work. And what he did is he actually got in the field and he did the work. He talked to so many people. I think it was like 150, 200, 300. I don't exactly remember the right number off the top of my head, but it was so inspiring. If you want, go into YouTube and look at the Howard Schultz story. So many people told him no, but eventually the right people told him yes. And because of Howard Schultz's leadership, because of his law of the lid, because he had this high leadership lid, Starbucks is where it's at today because he was the warrior CEO. He went out into the field and did everything that he had to do in order to build it. He knew that the roasters, the Starbucks roasters, would do their part. Just like how we have the system in place. We have the products in place. Our system, the ION system's in place. However, we need that Howard Schultz type mentality where we're all going out there and we're talking to new people and bringing them onto the system. And because of that, because see, everyone doesn't see the hard work in the beginning. This is not just Starbucks. It's also, Microsoft. Bill Gates, in regards to what you think of him, he was a salesman. He had to sell his software. Steve Jobs, they had to sell the software. Steve Jobs had Steve Wozniak. Steve Wozniak was the system, right? He was going to help design all this stuff. Steve Jobs, even though he participated, he was the salesperson. He was the one going out there and building it. See, everyone thinks that a lot of people, they had massive success overnight. No, Jensen Huang from NVIDIA is now one of the most strongest companies out there. Jensen Huang, I think he was a server at Denny's when he started this thing. Yeah, but no joke, look it up. I really think he was just at Denny's or something like that. And he was a guy with a dream. And he learned how to promote what he was trying to do first. Isn't crazy. He's an AI company, right? He's a hardware company. The computer that this is on is powered by NVIDIA. But what he did is that he had to get some of his market share first. A lot of people don't see the hard part. But in the beginning, remember, all you're doing is a promoter inviter. It's just like at that diner that Jensen was working at. When people ask for coffee, do you get offended if they say no at the coffee? Or do you just move on to the next person? Would you like some coffee? Would you like some coffee? Would you like some coffee? This business is the same way. And I encourage you to talk to one new person before you sleep tonight. I know it's late at night. It's almost 10 o'clock. We're ending this call right now, but I encourage you to send one message out. And maybe you don't respond till the morning, but I know with your post, there's still one person you haven't talked to. There's one person you haven't sent a text to. And if you can learn to do those things, just do one more than you did yesterday, you're already creating wins. And I would like to say from the bottom of my heart, from the corporate team, we are expanding by leaps and bounds. You're going to see some new leaders coming on board. We're going to see some new things coming on board. And why? Because we want this to be the next billion-dollar company in sales. And that is very alive. That is very much the vision. And you are a part of it. Even if you think that you're just a small part of it, just know that we appreciate you. We love you. We appreciate every single thing, every like, every comment, every love, every retail customer. We love every single thing you've done. Why? Because you are a part of the ION magic. We want to eventually start doing more and more events. I'm doing an event here in the Philippines. We're going to start doing events in the US where we're going to appreciate you and love on you. And you know what? You're going to love these events so much. Why? Because they're fun. They're exciting. They're things that people want to do. And you know what? When we start doing those kind of things, when we start growing those things, and when we start showing you more and more of the excitement that here is Ion, we can't wait to promote you on stage, to get you to the parties, and then to promote you to have your name in shining lights. Why? Because you deserve it. For all those years that you've worked at your job, I don't believe you've been recognized enough. For all those years that you've been trying to find the right supplements, now you have it here. For all those years that you've been trying to lose weight, we want to recognize you for losing that weight, for getting your health goals back. Why? Because Ion is that platform that just wants to love on people. And that's the Ion experience, and that's the Ion magic. Guys, with that, I want you to ask you to get onto the Facebooks, talk to one new person, like and support a lot of the new comments out there. And I'll see you guys next week. So here from Bonifacio Global City, from the corporate team, from Eric Caprisi, from Holly Canfield, from VP Banny Holcomb, and Fabricio Pacheco, I want to say thank you guys. See you in the next training, and God bless you.